Hi there, thanks for joining me. Back down in the garage, we've got the little city bug, the 107. Now I've had a question from Camp Gaz, and he said with the THINKSCAN 689BT, which is a fantastic scanner, amazing. I've got the full review on it in a video. I'll put the link in the description. How does it fare with the 107? He says he's tried a few different scanners and they're struggling to get live readings from the 107 to come through live data. So we're talking coolant temperature sensors, we're talking engine RPM, injector firing. We're looking for all the live data from the engine ECU. Can we get it all on here? Can we get all that critical information that tells us if we've got a fault, we know what's wrong with the car, we can do a decent diagnosis on it? Will this pick it up? Being an old car, an old model, this is a new scanner. Is it still compatible with the old stuff? So let's plug it in and see what we can get and answer your question. Oh, on the back of this one, we've got the dongle. It just magnetically connects. It's lovely. Let's plug that into the EOBD socket on the car. So just in the footwell there, we've got that. We can plug that dongle straight in there. We've got the unit. We can just pop out the little handle at the back, hook it onto the steering wheel. There we go. Okay, let's just fire it up. Okay, so first of all, when we're talking engine diagnostics, we can literally just go straight into the OBD. Okay, and this is what we've found. So because it's an old model, it doesn't support the VIN notification, but it's saying that we've got engine management light is off. There's no DTC stored in this one. It'll do readiness. We've got 6 functions we can do on the IMO readiness, which is mainly for American market. That's emission cycles. But anyway, it's telling us everything there, so we can enter. Let's just enter in. Okay, and this is what we're getting. So we can do the readiness, we can do live data, freeze frame data, read fault codes. So we want to go into read live data. That was the question. Can we get live information from the engine? So the answer is yes. We've got all these things. We can do the absolute throttle position. We can calculated load. We've got distance travelled since we wiped the codes. We've got engine coolant, RPM, ignition timing, air intake temperature, intake manifold pressure. We could do that one as well. And anyway, let's just select. We've selected quite a few there, so let's just OK that. And here we go. Look, the information is coming straight in. Absolute throttle position, so it's on 10%. If I rev it up, there you go, 17%. If I give it the full beans, got a slight delay on this. There it goes. Don't forget though, this is the absolute throttle position. So this isn't the accelerator pedal position, this is the throttle position. So that will never go to 100% just revving it like this because there's no load on the engine. You can see everything is coming in nice and quickly. RPM. We can drop this all into graphs as well. So if you want to see it in a graph relation, we've got, there we go. So that's the throttle position. As if I rev it up, slight delay on that, a little bit of a delay, not a lot though, but you can see what it's doing. If we took this down the road and give it full throttle, then that should go all the way up to 100%. Let's click back on that one. See the timing is changing as we're pressing that accelerator as well. Air intake 37 degrees at the minute. Manifold pressure. If I just switch the engine off and go back to the, let's just go back in there again. With the ignition on there, if I just press the accelerator, you can see it going up. If I go full throttle now, press that right to the floor, because I don't want to blow the engine up by revving it like crazy. Are we going to get 100%? Another great feature with this is it shows you the standard range there. All these figures, this is what you should be looking to see. If I wasn't pressing the accelerator pedal, then you'd expect to see that 0 to 14%. No, you see at the minute, I've got that right down on the floor and I'm only getting 78% throttle. Whether that's because we're stationary and we're not moving, maybe it won't pull it fully open until we're actually under load. Possibly we could try that on the road, see if we can get that to 100%. Or have we got the actual throttle body isn't clean and it might not be opening fully. So let's take it out on the road.
Third gear foot on the floor.
Third gear foot on the floor, here you go, look, 78.4%. So we're not getting full throttle. Let's just do it under graph. This is under hard acceleration. And you can see that's topping out at 78% on all of those. So we've either got a problem there with the sensor itself, it isn't fully adjusted, or it's out of adjustment, or something's jamming. We'll have to have a look. Okay, everything else there looks good. Let's fire it up again. You can check oxygen sensor output on both of those. So what we're looking at, let's go into this a little bit closer. CL, that's the first one. That means closed loop. What that's saying is the engine is warm and that the system now is closed. So it's taking information from the oxygen sensor, pre-catalytic converter. It's regulating how much oxygen, how much unburnt fuel is in the exhaust pipe, and it's altering the amount of fuel that's been injected and the ignition timing to optimize the efficiency and try and get all of that fuel burnt to make the engine run as lean and as perfect as it can. If that said open loop, it would mean that the engine's still cold because the oxygen sensors have to be up to temperature before they run correctly. So it means the engine's cold or there's an issue. We've also then got the standard range against the actual value that's being shown on by the sensor, and we can just compare the two and make sure that everything's within tolerance. There we go. And if we switch to the graph, we should be looking for something that's got a waveform like this little diagram in the corner there. So when we rev it up and we get some temperature down the exhaust system, you should be looking for something that goes up, down, up, down, up, down as it switches voltage. That little voltage in the corner there is what we're looking at. We want to keep an eye on that. If it's dark like that, and that means it's within tolerance. If it goes red, it means it drops out of tolerance. We're interested with it when you're revving it. Because the engine's still quite cold, I've not had it running for very long, these sensors are still not up to temperature, and that's why we are getting it dropping into red there. So we've got a whole array of bits and pieces in there that we're looking for. So let's just go into the vehicle specific and see if we can get at any of the other ECUs. So we're looking for instance, power steering, ABS, SRS, airbags. Can we do any of those? So this is vehicle specific, so we need to go and have to put some details in here. So let's just go for Peugeot. Here we go. Okay, it won't do an automatic search because it's too old, but we'll have to put a manual car 107. It wants the VIN number. Chassis number, VIN number's found on the inside of the door shut on the driver's side. Just open it up, there's a little sticker there, just pop that number in. Okay, VIN number's in, and we want to go diagnosis. We can do, let's do a health report and see what it comes out with. So it's not like in the engine ECU on specific. It's got no automatic gearbox. It's reading the ABS and it's saying there's no fault code. The airbags, it's read that and there's one fault code. Power steering, no fault code. Coded anti-start, so the transponder, there's no fault code in there. Okay, so we can now look at this. It's saying the passenger level airbag, passenger level 1 airbag, ignition module open circuit. So let's just have a read of that again. So it's given us a fault code of B1806, and we could do a code search on that and it'll go onto the internet for us. So it's given us a few answers to the questions there, and if I just go, let's just go back and see if it's got a few videos on it as well. Look. Okay, so let's go back and we can do a clear fault memory. We'll just see if that has gone, or if is it a permanent fault, or is it there all the time. The airbag light isn't on, so I can't see it being anything too major. So fault memory cleared. Let's just do a refault code again. Yep, nothing. So it's wiped it. So it's not a permanent fault. It could even be I disconnected it at some point when I've done the radio or what. I don't know. Who knows? So now everything is good. It's even saying that the engine ECU is normal as well now, so it's read the ECU on the engine. So let's see if we can get some data streams off the engine now through this air intake ignition. Okay, let's have a look at, well, yeah, okay, it's reading it now. So even on specific, it's reading it. Yeah. Ignition advance, misfire on that, which, yeah. Air intake, fuel and emission control. So this is all stuff that we saw on the OBD. Everything on here is pretty much the same. We've got injection time, which we didn't have on the other one. So is it going to show us injection timing now? No, it's not. It's not actually telling us anything. It's not reading it, is it? On that one. What about throttle percentage open? Is it going to give us that? No, it's not liking any of this information through the OBD2. So we are just going to have to look at this through OBD. And I don't think there's going to be any actuators that's going to find on here. Let's have a look. Purge. Can we get the, so we get the fan working? Oh yes, yes. It's kicked the fan in. So okay, so it's doing some stuff. Variable timing solenoid test. Yeah, so that's worked as well. So yeah, listen to whether the engine stops or whether the idle speed is incorrect. So we know that's working. That's pretty cool, actually. I like that. Okay, cutting off the air conditioning, purge cannon, so we can do the purge solenoid as well. So we should be able to hear the variation in the engine speed if it's working correctly again, as it's purging the fumes, the vapour from the fuel tank into the inlet manifold. Is it making a difference to the sound of the... Yes, yes, it did just change slightly. Idle regulations fitted with mechanical throttle housing. Let's have a look at that. Yep, engine speed is increased, so that's working as well. Okay, so that's pretty cool actually. There's a few good things in there that we can do. I wasn't expecting those to work on this because it's such an old car. And then we've got some with the engine off as well. It does tell us some of the stuff we can do. So fuel pump relay, we can check the fuel pump relay, we can check the fan, and we can check that purge valve as well. So obviously the fuel pump relay will kick the fuel pump in. So if I switch the engine off, pop the ignition back on again, just give it a second to make sure it's not lost its... So if I now press on that one, oh, it's because I've just switched the engine off. It's give it a couple of seconds and it might well find it's just reloading again. Let's just give it a second to see if it'll... Yep, there it goes. So I can hear the fuel pump activating and switching off, which is a great one as well. That is really good. So it's testing the fuel pump and the relay and everything else, the full circuit test just by pressing a button. Special function, what have we got in there? Pairing. Pairing what? Okay, so we can actually pair the immobiliser control module. That's pretty cool. So we can actually repair the immobiliser. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the anti-code start, power steering. Let's have a look at power steering. See what it gives us in here. Read fault code, no fault codes, data stream, information of torque sensor, program value at the point. Let's have a look at that. So as I turn the steering wheel, you can actually see the voltage is altering on that. So this takes us through to special functions and power steering calibration. Now you'd need this if you've done your tracking, replace the steering column or the steering rack. Okay, let's have a look at this then. So we'll make sure the steering wheel's straight. Switch ignition off, then validate. Right, I'll just press it. We've got the power steering warning lights come on down here. So whatever it's doing, it's calibrating the steering. It says, please make sure the PS LED is off. Well, ours is on. Now we've got a fault code in there, look. Let's go back and see if we can clear the fault memory. We've lobbed a fault in there. And we've still got the light on. Let's switch it off, fire it up. Oh dear, we've now put a fault on the power steering and the power steering ain't working. Oh no, what have we done to it? Well, let's go and do this calibration properly and switch the ignition off this time, and hopefully that will do it. Yeah, do it right. Okay, so we're going to press on the calibration button again. Just pull the car forward, make sure the steering wheel's dead straight, turn the ignition off, press the OK button, switch the ignition back on again, press the OK button. And then we've just got to wait while it does its business. And you can see now the PS light is flashing on the combined instrument panel there, which it wasn't doing that before. So it's definitely better. It's looking better. It's calibrating this time. And it made a funny old clunk click, like a big relay under the dashboard went with a little thump. Well, that looks good. It's all gone off again. So, yeah, that's gone off. Yes, yes, we're all back again. So we've managed to do, we've calibrated, and it shows you if you don't do it properly, it don't work. You've got to switch the ignition off. So that's really good. So from that we can do recalibrate. If we put a new steering rack on it, if we put a new control unit on it, we can calibrate those up and know that that works. So that's really good. Anti-co-star, active and passive safety, airbag. So we can also do airbag ECU, read fault codes. Let's go back to that again now because we've cleared that off. So looking at this, we can actually put new ECUs within this system and possibly learn it and code it and stuff. So code anti-start. We could probably possibly program in new transponders and stuff. No, you can't. You could just read the fault code and data stream, so we can't program anything in on that one. That's pretty good though. So how good was that? It's a cracking bit of kit. This is such a good unit. The calibration of that steering. I mean, if you've changed the steering rack or you've put a new ECU in there, you can recalibrate it and get it working again with this bit of kit. So yeah, the THINKSCAN BT689 will do all of the engine sensors. It picks up all of the information from the engine management system. It's doing this live readings, live data. We can say do the steering, we could do the ABS, and this is an old car. This is it's 17 years old. It's 2008, and this machine will do it all. So yeah, I hope that's been of use. I hope that's answered your questions, Camp Gaz. And yeah, I'll see you in another video. I love your comments. If you've got any comments, drop them in. I'll always try and answer them if I can. And I'll see you in another video. Thanks for watching.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.